Welcome to another episode of Asheville Reboot. I am Alex Jarbo, the owner of Engadine Inn Cabins. Today we are joined by Doug, the owner of Mountain Fly Anglers, who also runs all of our fly fishing at Engadine Inn Cabins. So how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. How are you? Good.
We just want to start with just your background and then what exactly Mountain Fly Anglers is.
Yeah, so I've been up here since 2007, fly fishing and being a fly fishing guide, being on the rivers a lot. And Mountain Fly Anglers is my charter business based out of Asheville, North Carolina. I have a store, Mountain Fly Outfitters, based here in Canton, North Carolina.
How long have you been doing it for?
I've been guiding for 15 years and opened this store 2 years ago.
We're coming up on the 1 year of the hurricane. What was that first 2-3 weeks after the hurricane look like for you?
We weren't doing any fishing, that's for sure. We're just really focusing on getting the community back where it needs to be, running supplies, just making sure people had the things they needed and trying to supply the area that were most hard hit and devastated by the hurricane, which was pretty expansive in this area. So there was a lot to be done for those first several months after the hurricane.
You did some work with the EPA too, right? So what did that look like?
I was just guiding them down the rivers that were affected by the hurricane so they could put a list together of hazmat materials that were still in the water systems. And then I was able to help them do some of that cleanup work too. So that lasted several months.
The North Carolina trout fisheries were pretty affected, right?
Some of them were, for sure. The trout themselves, like the native or the wild trout that live in the rivers, they seem to have made out fine.
Yeah. What does that look like as it's evolved the last 11 months?
Yeah, I mean, the rivers were washed out pretty bad in a lot of areas, but seems like a good bit of the wild population of fish were able to kind of hold their ground and make their way back into those creeks and streams that they were initially in. We even did some netting in some of the sinkholes along rivers and we're able to put back hundreds and hundreds of fish back into the rivers.
Are you seeing the fish do well in the areas that you usually fish in?
Yeah, I've been doing okay on the fish. It's definitely not just the hurricane's fault. The fly fishing itself has become a lot more popular over the last 4 years. So if anything, we're seeing more of an impact on the fish by the amount of people that are out doing it now, getting out into the river. But the fish are still there, especially if you know some spots to go where they're not as heavily targeted.
What do you see the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 year both look like for your business and fly fishing in general?
Already starting to see some of the people coming back, but I would say that our tourism and for the fishing industry for sure, that it's by far been the slowest year that I've experienced for people coming here to just to do anything really. I think a lot of people are still concerned that the rivers are still messed up or dangerous to be in, which there's certain areas that you probably could avoid just because they're still doing a lot of work. But I see a lot of my return clients wanting to come back, fish this fall, and I'm still having some new folks that want to check out this area that are coming. So I think over the next year or so, I think it should stabilize itself back out pretty well and hopefully give it a little time for it to kind of build back up and reset.
Are you guys doing anything different this year?
You know, we've been just looking at different stretches of river that we haven't necessarily used as much, trying to just get away from the crowds. Has been our focus.
Yeah, which is partially why we did some of the stuff at Engadine as well.
I think some of that will still be necessary for the next little while, and I think the more people are conserving the outdoors and the pretty places that we have, the better it'll be.
Both you and I put in an insane amount of work at Engadine just to get the fishing to where it needed to be at. So where can people find you guys at, and where can people, if people wanted to swing by the shop or book a tour with you guys?
So if you want to book a fishing trip, go to mountainflyoutfitters.com and Mountain Fly Outfitters in Canton, North Carolina. And we're just right down the road from Engadine. So come stay at the cabins and let's go do some fishing.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and all that information will be a part of the podcast so you guys can link it up and book a tour or swing by. Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Appreciate it, brother.